and I thought that we were coming closer together on both sides of the political aisle. And since I haven't seen that, my opinion, this is not a good sign to where things may start to happen civilly.
All right, Hassan Abi says Charlie Kirk opposed the Civil Rights Act, called George Floyd a scumbag, and said he'd be worried about black pilots, and then he'd force his daughter to carry a pregnancy to term if she was raped. He shouldn't have been killed, but he def was an extremist. It's like, what is wrong with these people? Tim Cast says Charlie didn't want anyone dead, but these people are demons who lie about spreading violence. So here is.
There seems to be this weird emphasis on the sympathy for Charlie Kirk is fucking weird. There seems to be this weird emphasis on taking the moral high ground and that you are somehow a better person if you're like, I feel bad for his family. This is the world he wanted and the world he was building. This is a white supremacist who wanted both of us dead. He was shot in the middle of saying something transphobic about trans people. And yet you want to have sympathy for him. You don't have to like violence, but I'm confused as to how you thought the revolution was going to be magically bloodless. Where is this sympathy for Palestinians, for the Sudanese people, for the Congolese, for the black people in America that are killed at the hands of police violence, for the black trans women that are being murdered for simply existing? Why does this sympathy extend to a white supremacist, but not to the communities that actually need your care? I think that people are afraid they're going to lose a part of their humanity if they don't have sympathy for somebody who is a victim of gun violence, when in reality, you're losing your humanity by allowing fascists to define your sympathy for you. While you're busy having a moral dilemma, they win. I think it's admirable to want to find the best in people and to want to continue to have sympathy for those who experience something tragic. This is the world that man wanted to live in. And while he's dead, there's a lot of folks that need that care and sympathy that are still alive.
What is wrong with these people? A University of North Texas student is going viral for confronting a classmate who is passing around a Charlie Kirk video dying while laughing, and says the professor who singled her out and asked her to leave class. Damn. This is so black pilling. All right, we got another one.
Awful thing I've ever seen in my life. I just witnessed Charlie Kirk get assassinated. It was the most awful thing I've ever seen in my life. He shot him in the neck and blood went everywhere. And the worst part of it all was the liberals who were there were cheering. So I just have one thing to say. If you identify yourself with the Liberal Party, it's okay. You can believe what you want to believe. But if you identify yourselves with those people who were cheering and someone just got killed, I just hope you can take a look at yourself and think, is this who I really want to be? Because that is disgusting. Disgusting. I just witnessed.
All right, here's another one. These libs crashing out.
Do you support his death? Do you support his death?
I do.
You support his death?
Fuck Charlie Kirk.
You support Charlie Kirk being killed?
Yes, I do.
On the day he died, you're here at a vigil for Charlie Kirk and you support his death.
Do you support a Nazi?
No, I don't support a Nazi. Charlie Kirk wasn't a Nazi. You support his shooter?
Yep, sure do. Sure do.
You support Charlie Kirk's shooter?
Sure do. He does all favors.
Would you shoot somebody like Charlie Kirk?
I would have killed him myself.
You would have killed him yourself? Okay. You have a job here in Seattle?
Nope. I take that for a living.
Do you support his death?
I do.
You support his death?
Fuck Charlie Kirk.
You support.
It's just so messed up. Like, white people don't have a sense of unity like other groups. They'll never band together. I mean, half of the people complaining or celebrating Charlie Kirk's death are white. That would never happen with black people. Like, they'll riot. I mean, they'll take to the streets. But white people, it's like, we'll crucify each other in the name of, like, appeasing other groups.
So I'm very aware that when you look at me, you see the hair and the nose ring, you probably think I'm a huge liberal. I love living in America. I love this country. I am a die-hard centrist. I have a lot of liberal views and I have a lot of conservative views, but most of the time I'm able to see the gray in areas and come to a critically thought out conclusion about the right and wrong. The amount of people I've had to unfriend or unfollow because they're cheering and happy about what happened today is very disheartening. And if you're following me on here and you're upset that I'm not cheering and woohoo, please unfollow me. I'm sorry if you followed me because of the way I looked. We live in a country where I can look the way I want to look and I can have the opinions I want to have and say the things I want to have because of where we live. And this is an attack on freedom of speech, no matter how you look at it, whether you like Charlie, you didn't like Charlie. I only believe in the death penalty for murderers and child abusers, not somebody who's debating people and giving people with different opinions platform, whether he agrees with them or disagrees. He's giving everybody chances to talk. This is disgusting. A lot of people are acting really gross about this.
Okay, so here we got Ben Shapiro, his response. So there's some YouTubers coming out and saying that they're gonna still do events, they're still gonna do debates, but I don't see people doing things the way they did them before. I could hypothesize that maybe they will with extra security, but I don't think most YouTubers want to die doing this stuff. I could see people bringing guns, like supporters. Maybe that's a way to do it, is like if right-wing supporters came together and started bringing their own guns, and their own surveillance.
Moment. And I think right now we are at a extremely pivotal moment. And I think that what's going to end up happening is that right-wing people are not going to continue to turn the other cheek. They're not going to continue to just, oh, well, this is just a crazy left-wing radical. I think you're probably going to see right-wing people doing the same thing to left-wing people. And honestly, while I don't think this is a good thing, I certainly don't really feel that sorry for them, because a lot of left-wing people have no problem advocating for violence, or at least using coded language in order to advocate for violence. The fact is that there's a certain level of intellectual dishonesty that goes on in situations like this, where it's considered, oh, well, this isn't actually what they meant, and no, this is actually some others. No, it is. It's exactly what they mean. They're trying to advocate for killing people that they disagree with. That's what's happening, and there's no talking around it. And to the extent that you try to, you're insulting the intelligence of anyone that you're speaking to. And I think that now you're going to start seeing a lot of right-wing people end up doing this to left-wing people now even more, because it's very clear that these social media platforms are not going to moderate this behavior. The FBI, for whatever reason, just refuses to deal with or have any degree of accountability for dealing with these obvious terrorists that are in the country. And because of that, I think you're going to start seeing an uptick of violence from right-wing people as well. And this is going to be, in my opinion, I don't really think the word is justified, because it's not justified, but the word is expected. I think it's going to be expected. The fact is that, again, you bring a knife to a gunfight, you're going to lose. And don't be surprised when you keep bringing guns to gunfights and then somebody else just.
Andrew Wilson says, we can't give in to the terrorist left. I will continue in real life appearances if they shoot me. Well, the internet said I was going to die of lung cancer anyway. Someone responded and they said, the problem is, as Tim Cass pointed out, it's not just you that's at risk when you do. What if they miss and a bystander gets shot? Remember, Butler, if you're going to do it, get security, be safe. Don't do it on side. I understand the argument, but we must not give in. I agree. We just got to figure out a way to do it safely. Andrew, take precautions, please, man, of course. Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy for the internet to, cheer on that kind of thing. But we have to be realistic. And, they're not like Charlie Kirk's the one who doesn't have a his kids don't have someone raising them now, you know? The people on the internet, like, cheering aren't the ones that are gonna have to deal with the consequences. Not, so it's not that we can't do this in real life stuff, but I think they're gonna need different strategies to do it. By the way, guys, I put the link in the chat if you wanna call in. If no one calls in, I'll just, that's pretty much everything I got to say, but maybe I'll put it on Twitter too. I'm sorry if I'm low energy. I don't know, this whole thing, I just can't believe it happened, I'm kind of in shock. I mean, I didn't agree with him on everything, so I don't wanna pretend, obviously I had my disagreements with him, but it's just weird, you know? Also, be respectful. If you guys are rude, I'll just kick you. How's it going? We got Anonymous. How are you? Nothing. Okay, well. Pearl, I'm a pessimist too. It won't get better. Sick of people saying both parties are the problem. Nope, good versus evil. Good make mistakes, but they're not evil. Yeah. Okay, they say they can come on. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing okay. Can't believe we're in this situation.
It's kind of crazy. So what are your thoughts? Like, how do you think this is going to affect things moving forward? Just like watching the news, what did you think? What went through your mind?
My initial reaction is I thought that if we had any progress towards coming together more, we would have had the left, quote unquote, political leaders. We wouldn't have seen their reaction so desensitized. They would have actually come out and genuinely said no to any violence and totally discredit it instead of maybe one sentence the actual physical reactions that they had, if you had any on video, like Jeffries, like Schumer, is just appalling. And I thought that we were coming closer together on both sides of the political aisle. And since I haven't seen that, my opinion, this is not a good sign to where things may start to happen civilly just amongst the people. It may not be the people that have a lot to lose. It may not be the people who have platforms, but I'm concerned. I'm still in a state of grief myself because he was the epitome. Charlie Kirk was a man who displayed his religious beliefs, wanted everyone to find a relationship with God. So do I. And only voiced his opinion in the realm of wanting people to express their opinions to each other and not to act out violence.